Right now, actor Matthew Perry, one of the stars of the hit sitcom Friends, has died. He was just 54 years old. Law enforcement sources telling News Nation now that Perry died of a heart attack today while in a hot tub. Perry gained fame in the mid-90s, of course, playing Chandler Bing for all 10 seasons of Friends, the mega hit garnering millions of fans all around the world, still finding new audiences on streaming services today. Well, during his time on Friends, he also branched out into films like The Whole Nine Yards and Fools Rush In. And Perry mostly stuck with television after the NBC mainstay ended, leading shows like Studio 60 and Go On. In recent years, Perry has been incredibly open about his battles with substance abuse. He went through several stints in rehab for addiction to alcohol and prescription painkillers. In later interviews, Perry says his life was so controlled by his personal demons that he doesn't actually remember filming 3 entire seasons of Friends. You may remember Perry released a memoir just last November. It was called Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. And he documented the ups and downs of his career and his personal life. At the time, Perry said that he had been completely sober since early 2021. We do want to bring in now entertainment host Josh McBride. This is shocking breaking news today, Josh. What are you hearing about this? I know the news, the details are breaking as we speak.
Yeah, Natasha, we're learning more and more as time goes by. As we know, this just occurred. So we are learning. It's taken a second to even confirm. I've gotten from a source that it took over an hour to confirm that the source that actually this came from initially went through. You know, it's crazy to think about it, Natasha, because I think about Matthew Perry as someone who spread joy and gave us 234 episodes of 10 seasons of Friends where he made us laugh and he made us, keel over on the couch as we were watching with our friends and family. This one stings a bit.
I completely agree. There was a gasp, I think, for us in the newsroom when we saw these initial reports, and we've been working to confirm them as well before finally bringing this news on the air right now. And this specific detail, law enforcement telling News Nation that he died of a heart attack today while in a hot tub. And I know that there will be more results and more discussion going forward. But I do want to bring up, he has just been incredibly public. He released this memoir, this tell-all memoir, Unflinching, last November, and gave many interviews. This book, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. He truly documented some gritty and difficult things with his personal life and his many stints in rehab. One would imagine, is that where your mind immediately went when you heard about his passing today, that God forbid he had a relapse after being completely sober, he says, since early 2021?
Yeah, unfortunately, it did go there, and I think for many of us, it probably did. You know, he documents in that book at one point during his Friends time, he was taking 55 Vicodin a day. He was down to 128 pounds. We also saw him at the HBO Max reunion of Friends, where people had questioned his ability then to kind of live life. We do also remember about a year ago, during the same time his book came out, he had that really in-depth interview with Diane Sawyer. And it was all about sort of his history. What I do love about him, or loved about him, Natasha, is the fact that he's been so open and honest about his time struggling and his recovery. And I think that's really important to remember about Perry. I also want to mention one other thing, Natasha, and I don't think it's been put together yet. It was interesting to see when you look at his Instagram, if you've taken a look, 6 days ago, he posted from Instagram in his hot tub a picture of him in the corner saying, "Oh, so warm weather swirling around you makes you feel good. I'm Matt." And to know that that was the last place that he would be is that much more gut-wrenching and symbolic.
Yeah, what is the reaction that you're monitoring so far? This really just feels like a wallop of a shock tonight. What are you monitoring?
At first, I think, like all of us, Natasha, we said, really? No way. He's so young. He's 54. But then the friends that I've even spoke to and the sources that I've talked to all questioned exactly what you questioned, and that's terrible, wondering, how did this happen? We do, of course, know that he struggled for a very long time. At one point, I believe he had an issue, gastrointestinal issue, and the doctors had told him that he only had a 2% chance to live. So if we're thinking about Perry and we really want to celebrate on his legacy, I think what we have to do is celebrate that he overcame so much, and that how open he was with alcohol and drug use, he also was open to talking about it and open to discussing it and didn't hide it and wanted other people to learn from his potential mistakes.
Josh, I mean, it does seem in retrospect now that there's this extraordinary gift to his fans, a gift to all of us in this book and his memoir that he published last November. Can you talk to us about some of the insights, some of the takeaways, and frankly, the legacy that he's leaving and being so open about his struggles and the lasting health impacts as well of what he went through?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. And where he really, Natasha, details exactly in this book where he talks about, at one point being on the set of Friends, again, I mentioned it before, and taking 55 Vicodins a day. I mean, I can't imagine. Where he talks about showing up to Friends to shoot where he's intoxicated or under the influence. I mean, this is a person who wanted other people to realize and recognize that he had an issue and that if he could do anything in his power to help somebody else, I think that is going to be his legacy.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.